See this? It's a Wuyong Honda. Since the whole bike is now made in China, I'm sure its price will be a pleasant surprise. Hello everyone, this is the 2025 China Motor Expo. We are now at the Honda stand. What Honda has released this time is this CB500 series behind me. They are the CB500 Surf Street bike and the CBR500R sports bike. The Honda stand is extremely popular. It was packed this morning, but now with crowd control, everyone must queue to get in. So, this is the one over here. As you can see, this is the newly released CB500. Now, let's take a closer look at the details of this bike. First, the round headlight, and there are two small horns here. This is a hallmark of the Honda CB400s of series, so they are related, but the lights are definitely the latest LEDs. Down here, the brake calipers are the same as before, using dual discs, and they're fitted with Nissan radial mount calipers. Lots of people say this engine is a downsized 650, but that's actually not the case. You can see its entire structure is completely different. From this angle, the 650 exhaust pipes are slanted across, but this one is clearly much straighter, right? The overall header design is totally different. The engine is completely redesigned, the structure is entirely different. And overall, we can take a closer look at this engine, and there's a nameplate on it. Can you see? This is produced by Wuyong Honda. This time, both the engine and the entire bike should be made in China, so I believe its price will be a pleasant surprise. Many people ask about the instrument cluster. It's a TFT screen, not twin pod gauges. But the advantage of this is that it can have features like mobile phone screen mirroring, connectivity, and navigation. And overall, I think the paintwork quality is very good. Then the whole exhaust, so shiny, a full stainless steel exhaust. I think it's quite beautiful. Furthermore, this bike uses a one-piece seat. The fullness and lines of the fuel tank are, in my opinion, exceptionally well done. Another significant upgrade this time is the use of an electronic throttle. If you've ridden a Honda with an electronic throttle before, you can be completely at ease. The tuning is excellent. As you can see, there's a cover panel here, which should be removable, because you can see one thing about this bike is that it doesn't have a grab rail at the back. So I believe if you want to install a top box, you probably open this cover to extend a luggage rack. That should be how it's installed. That should be the design. So it doesn't have an upturned ducktail at the back, but it does have a ducktail design overall, just not very upturned. The rear tire is a 160 section CSD. In terms of grip, it's not the strongest, but its performance is more than adequate. There's no need to change it at all. Then I think one of the best looking design features of this bike is its tail light. The tail light is currently off. When it lights up, it's a circle. I really think the tail light design is much more outstanding than the headlight. Over here, you can see it uses an E-clutch, an electronically controlled clutch. Its main feature is that gear changes are very smooth, and it's like pulling the clutch. Many people worry this might take away some of the fun, but it absolutely doesn't. This is an updated E-clutch, which Honda calls the second generation. It's because this bike has an electronic throttle, unlike previous models with cable throttles. The electronic throttle allows the bike to consider the current mode and coordinate the clutch control, which makes gear changes between modes exceptionally smooth. Everyone knows you can even start off in 6th gear with the E-clutch. So, I'm personally very excited to see how this second generation E-clutch will perform. And this is the sports bike from the same platform, the CBR500R. Now, this tail light is quite distinctive. It's a small triangle, but I just don't think it's as beautiful as the one on the other bike. But the side profile of this bike looks really great. The front end has a very strong futuristic feel. This whole section is one single panel, without too many sharp angles, but this part here has many panels with these raised designs. This part looks great, and as you'll see, this bike is also made by Wuyong Honda. And I think one thing is its split seat. This gap in the middle, this streamlined opening, it looks really cool and aggressive. A divisive design. This transparent light bar glows in a V. Then it sweeps down, giving it a great diving look. And because this middle part is black with two silver panels above and below, or other colors, it creates a kind of floating effect. It's as if you've cut out the middle section, making the entire upper part feel like it's floating. This instantly creates a high-tech look. And actually, if you look at the bike's profile from the side, it really has a strong futuristic, high-tech feel. That's probably why they chose to display this silver version. I guess it's related to that consideration. As for the engine, brake calipers, and suspension, these specifications are the same as the street bikes. The appearance of this bike, from every angle, is just incredibly futuristic. I really like it. This look is my kind of style. So, what do you think of the all-new CB500 SF? Beside me are the 4 generations of Honda's most classic CB400 SF. Here is the first generation model, and at the far end is the final generation. All of these models are now discontinued. For many, its very soul is gone. They say without VTC, the CB400 is soulless. Personally, I think it's a shame there isn't an instrument cluster. I'm just a big fan of them, really. This new TFT display is really just part of a major trend. Many models, including the Forza, have now made the switch. The CB500's modern monoshock offers far greater comfort and performance than outdated twin-shock systems. Scooters still use this primitive suspension, which uses more material. However, most motorbikes now use monoshocks, greatly improving both performance and overall handling. It's only right that a modern 2025 model has better suspension. Besides, the multi-link monoshock is a more expensive system. Finally, VTC. A journalist later asked about this during a media interview. Honda's explanation was that they had actually already considered the issue, because the new 500 CEF already uses an electronic throttle. It has multiple riding modes. As the developers said at the time, VTC was used in the past because at low revs, using 2 valves ensured good low-end torque, and at high revs, using 4 valves ensured good high rev power delivery. But now, with the electronic throttle body can control the throttle opening very precisely. It can achieve much better low-end torque than before, while also having better high rev extension, so they said VTC no longer has any practical significance. So, combining the electronic throttle and clutch now achieves a better effect. This is their official explanation. I think what they said is correct, but the only potential trade-off is that people really like the moment when VTC kicks in at 6,000 RPM. That will certainly be gone, but the ride is definitely better than the VTC models. And he said the new bike is also 6 kilograms lighter compared to the old CB400 CEF. The old CB400 CEF weighed 200 kilograms. So now, although it hasn't been announced, according to what he said, this bike is probably around 194 kilograms. For a 4-cylinder bike, that weight should be quite acceptable. So I'm also really looking forward to the riding experience of this bike. Of course, the bike should be released next year, and I guess the price will be a pleasant surprise. Some guess 50 or 60,000, but that's too pricey. 30,000 seems too low. My guess is between 40 and 50,000, though it's hard. Let's wait until it's released next year and see.